problem, we have a 75 Newton force lifting a 5 kilogram mass. The mass moves upwards 4 meters. We want to find the final speed of the mass, assuming it begins from rest. So let's see if we can work this out. So in our picture, we have a force lifting it upwards. So there's our pulling force. That one's not going to be a conservative force because that's like a tension or someone pulling on it. The block is moving upwards, so there's our displacement D. That's going to be all in the y direction. It all goes up. So yeah, we'll put a note on this that says that's a non-conservative force. So let's apply our conservation of energy. E final equals E initial plus any work done by non-conservative forces. E final means our final mechanical energy. K final plus U final equals K initial plus U initial plus any work done by non-conservative forces. Let's fill in what we mean by these things. So K final is a half times M times V final squared plus M times G times Y final equals a half times M times V initial squared plus M times G times Y initial plus any work done by non-conservative forces. So let's see what we have to put in here. So our mass is being lifted from some lower position down here to some final position up here. So Y initial equals 0, Y final equals 4 meters. V initial equals 0, V final is what we'd like to sort out, that's what we want to find. What else do we need to know here? Work done by non-conservative forces. Let's ask if we can find that guy. So let's just keep working on that over here. So work done by non-conservative forces is the work done by the force F. We know that the work done by the force F is the magnitude of the force, that's going to be our 75 newtons, times the magnitude of the distance traveled, travels 4 meters, times the cosine of the angle between the force and the distance. The force is up, the distance is up, the displacement is up, so the angle between them is 0. So our force is 75 newtons, distance is 4 meters, times the cosine of 0 degrees between them. So the work done by the non-conservative force is 75 times 4 to give us 300 joules. Newtons times meters is joules. So now it looks like we have everything we need to put in our equation. So a half times M times V initial squared, that part is 0 because V initial is 0. M times G times Y initial, that's 0 because our Y initial is 0. Work done by non-conservative forces, that's our 300 joules. So 1/2 times M times V final squared plus M times G times Y final equals 300 joules. So we'll bring our MGYF to the other side. Divide both sides by 1/2 M. That gives us V squared. To find VF, we take the square root of the whole thing. So then we put in that our mass is 5 kilograms. Y final is our 4 meters that it's risen. And G is 9.81, of course. And we get a final speed of 6.44 meters per second. We ask, does this make sense? So it's faster than our initial speed of 0, and that makes sense because our work done by the non-conservative force was positive, so we expect for it to speed up. So that answer looks good.